Not only is the cereal chock full of plasticky goodness, but I find the toy to be most engaging.
No breakfast for this champion! Yours truly has finally collected 100 proofs of purchase from Lee Yum's topless pornographic Chinese food emporium, and I'm now entitled to 2 free steamed buns, specially prepared and presented by topless female chefs.
Aren't you forgetting something?
I don't think so. Opera glasses, bail money, hung young guy joke, spermicide-treated bib.
Stick 'em back in your pants, duckhead! You're forgetting that today is your day to take care of...
Nuh-uh! No way! Not if you tied my tongue to your tailpipe and dragged me 80 miles an hour naked over a field of broken glass.
Intriguing, but does it have to be your tongue I tie to the tailpipe?
But this isn't fair. It can't be my turn again. I just babysat Grandmama last week.
You used her as an anchor to keep your car cover from blowing away.
Hey, I paid $6 for that thing.
Stuff it, you feathered road apple. I've been telling you about this for days. Here's your list of things to do. Grandmama gets 1 worm suppository every 2 hours. Her carbuncle salve and ear hair trim every 3 hours. And Epsom salt rectal rash cleansings as needed.
Wait a minute, that's it? You're all off to your glamorous lives while I'm stuck holding the old bag? You know what a problem she's been lately. You can't turn away long enough to watch a bra commercial without her getting into some kind of trouble.
You're exaggerating. Now do it, or they'll be identifying you by your dental records. Ta-ta!
Excuse me, sir. Salvation can be yours if you can spare a few minutes for a missionary.
Hallelujah! Missionary will be just fine, long as it ends in an East Highland squat with a Polish dismount. Save me, sister. Lay your hands upon me and let the healing begin.
Okay, it worked. I'll stop going door to door bothering people at their homes.
Wait, I was serious, and I'm very religious. I know all 6 of the commandments, and I'm a big fan of Oral Roberts. I see her 25-cent loops in the art theater by the airport all the time. And thank you so much for coming. You can count on my tithings.
What's going on here, Duckman? Where's Grandmama?
Bernice, please, have a little faith. Grandmama practically takes care of herself. In her own unique way.
Piece of advice? Based on my experience, your mother may have reached a point where she's not safe at home. In my opinion, she might be better off in a rest home.
What? No mother of mine is going to a rest home.
Now, Bernice, hold on. You might want to hear the man out. And my only motivation in saying that is to get that smelly old sow out of my friggin' hair! Damn sodium pentothal flashbacks.
Ah!
Wait, Aunt Bernice! Let's hope this becomes another repressed memory, but we actually agree with Dad.
What?
As the only male figures who can be counted on for their family's survival, Charles and I face mounting responsibilities which prevent us from giving Grandmama the help and care she so rightly deserves.
Plus, I've reached the age where most of my waking hours are devoted to, how to put this in acceptable terms, working the wiggler.
Look, I know Grandmama's a lot of work, but we can't just ship her off. Besides, this family can tend her as well as any healthcare professionals, right, Grandmama? I guess it wouldn't hurt to check out a few nursing homes.
Who says the elderly can't be useful? This place looks ideal, Bernice. Activities galore, and it's affordable.
Back to the pit, Lieberman!
What? I'm not one of your incontinent inmates. I'm Duckman.
Let's get out of here. My mother's not staying at any place that would take Duckman.
At Camp Out Denial, you're as young as we say you are. That's why we insist our residents, or dudes and babes, as we call them, live life to the fullest.
Chest pains. Need heart pills.
catch a wave, Mr. Tupperman. It's nothing a little bungee jumping can't cure. And I think we have a vacancy.
It's beautiful, but where are all the residents?
The residents, yes. We here at Soylent Greens have found the proper place for the elderly in our society. Nourishing, shall we say, the younger and healthier among us. Please enjoy our complimentary buffet.
Ooh. What? You act like it's someone you know.
Don't worry, Mom. You're going to love Happy Dale. I think this is the hardest thing I've ever done. But when I was growing up, you always made sure I had the best care. Now I just want to do the same for you. I hope you understand. And I think I speak for everyone when I say nobody really wants to see you go.
Shake a leg, Grammy! The meter's running! Look, you and I have had our differences in the past. I haven't been that attentive a son-in-law. Sometimes I put my own pleasure before your needs. Ah! Well, a little late to change now. Couple of free steamed buns a la nude coming up. Oh, no! This is horrible! Somebody stole my car! And my CD player! And my new vacuum jack! And my matching drink holders! And my custom floor mats! Oh, no, no, no! I didn't even realize! How could I have missed it? They took my beanbag hump caddy, too! And my ashtrays! And my sun visor! And my maps and dice! And my compass that always points east! Grab my Wendy Whoppers contoured soap on a rope, and I'm on a freighter to the Galapagos faster than you can say, Bernice! Oh, well, I know I'm bushed. I'll just be heading off to bed. Oh, Grandmama loves a new home. Couldn't fart enough about it. And now, since you know everything there is to know about everything there is to know, toodaloo and cheerio.
The rest home called 10 minutes ago wondering where Grandmama was.
Oh, right. It's actually quite a funny story once you get past all the tragic elements and overriding sense of doom.
Duckman!
Okay, all right. I got out of the car to save this orphan, from that fire at that place where the orphans stay. And when I turned around, Grandmama and the car were gone. But don't you worry a hair on your pretty little back. I read somewhere you can drop them off 100 miles away and they'll sniff their way home.
Oh, Duckman, silly mixed up possibly seconds left to live Duckman. I think you're confusing Grandmama with a dog! We're talking about my mother! And if you prefer keeping those limbs, appendages, and orifices exactly where they are, you'll find her pronto!
This is it, Corny. The place where the nightmare started. Where this whole unavoidable tragedy began.
Where someone was trying to get a couple of free baked buns while leaving an old woman unattended in the car in a bad neighborhood with the keys still in the ignition, the engine idling, and the doors unlocked?
Not even close! The buns were steamed. Now, if we could get back to reality... All right, Gecko. Time to earn your Christmas bowl of water. Here's a piece of cloth from one of Grandmama's dresses, reeking with her tangy bouquet. Do your stuff, fella. He's got the scent, Corny. He's found a trail. I don't get it, Corny. Why would Grandmama come out here to the backwoods of Vermont?
Howdy, you boys from Guinness? I knew you'd show up one day. Well, there she is, the world's largest pile of dung. Taken me 46 years to collect it. Lost a wife in the process. She never understood how sometimes all a man has is what he puts together with his own two hands. Lemonade?
Trail's cooling, Corny. If only we knew where she was right now. If only there were some way to visually recap what exactly happened. The Congo. This time, Gecko's gone too far. Can't go on. Pack too heavy. Goodbye, old friend.
Okay, I'll carry the curly straws. Just a little kikuyu I picked up while eavesdropping during bus rides to work. This is Gubando, leader of the Methuselahta, a tribe built entirely upon reverence for the elderly.
The elderly? Of all the ridiculous, boneheaded, ignoramus things to build a tribe on,
He also speaks English.
that is not one of them. In fact, I'm sure old Guano and me share a healthy appreciation for older women. I always say the older the cushion, the better the... Yeah. Right, we'll swap stories later.
To us, age is an accomplishment, not a flaw. We admire the elderly for their wisdom and experience. Of course, like any other society, we experience discrimination based on age. For instance, it's much harder to get a good job in this tribe if you're under 60. And here is our temple of worship. Many years ago, a prophet predicted that a goddess would float down the river. And yesterday, that goddess arrived.
Grandmama! Hey, listen, Giuseppe. That's no goddess. That's my mother-in-law, and we're taking her with us.
Our ancestral home of 10,000 years destroyed. Thank heavens for that condo in Fort Lauderdale.
Corny! I'm all for taking liberties, but it happens to be against the law with unconscious women. At least according to that uptight judge who gave me...
Duckman, she's been frozen for an extended period of time. I'm not getting a heartbeat.
What are you talking about? Cornfed, why are you,
I'm sorry, Duckman. Grandmama is dead.
dead? Oh, that's great! Why don't we all just sit around and point fingers at one another, trying desperately to figure out who's to blame?
You're to blame!
Okay, that was fun, though I was thinking it'd take a tad longer. Look, I'll have you know I cared about her, too. And because I did, I was on my way out to personally make all the funeral arrangements myself. I want to make sure Grandmama gets the respectful and dignified send-off she deserves. Top of the morning to you. I'm looking for something in the affordable range. Maybe buy the cardboard, build it yourself kind of thing, or some sort of group discount. Maybe cut us a deal if we bury her with a busload of Shriners that went off a cliff or something. Hey, I know you. You sold me that home security system that almost killed my whole family.
Almost doesn't do me a lot of good here now, does it? Tetzloff, Terry Duke Tetzloff. And I'm on to new horizons, Mr. Duckman, due to a valuable lesson I've learned about today's world. There is no security anymore, only all kinds of ugly, painful, and completely random ways to die. Well, enough shop talk. Back to your grief and what you're willing to spend on it.
Now, listen, normally I wouldn't cheap out on something as public as a funeral.
Excellent. Most people think how much they spend on someone's funeral shows the rest of the world how much they loved the deceased when they were still alive.
They do?
Absolutely. Of course, those people are afraid they could never live down the guilt of a lifetime of shabby treatment, which perhaps may even have been somehow responsible for the person's death.
Losers. So, just out of morbid curiosity, of course, is there something you show those people when they come in?
Death Rest Deluxe, an entire package including flowers, candles, a complete makeover for the corpse at Rodin's of Beverly Hills, a short, whimsical film on the dearly departed's life done in Emmy Award-winning claymation, and an appearance by a dignitary, this month's special being Andy Rooney for an extra $20,000. $30,000 if you don't want him to speak.
Can we do any better on the price of the speaker?
Well, for $58 plus bus fare, you can get Joe Piscopo.
Done and done. I'll take the works, but only if you throw in one of those neat little refrigerator magnets shaped like a coffin.
Ha! You're too shrewd for me, Mr. Duckman. Spend in peace.
Oh, this This is so horrible. Oh, it was such a tragic demise. And can you believe it? Oh, the beast who's actually responsible for that poor woman's death is here. Oh, which one is he?
I'm pretty sure it's a pig.
Well, now that everyone's gathered, shall we let the morning begin?
In this hour of sadness, it warms my heart to see before me my mother's many relatives, friends, killers. I'd like to start by sharing some fond remembrances of Grandmama. As you know, she was born...
What do I miss most about her? I remember I left her outside in the rain once. She got wet and stinky and goo started coming out of her ears. So I threw her real hard up against the wall.
Ajax, I think you're confusing Grandmama with your Mr. Bunny doll.
Oh, right. Grandmama. I remember I left her outside in the rain once.
Well, this has been touching. Do we have any more sad and/or pathetic memories anyone would like to share? How about you, Mr. Duckman?
Well, okay. I guess I can talk about that time at my wedding. It was, of course, a beautiful day. I was the epitome of class and distinction. Lord have mercy! Good God, y'all! Let's all get up and get down by doing the funky Duckman! You let your down, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis. Then Grandmama came over and whispered the strangest thing in my ear. She said, "Eat more cheese." I didn't know what she meant, so I continued my unique Bob Fosse-like styling. And thrust your pelvis, 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 and thrust your pelvis. Wait a second. Grandmama didn't say eat more cheese. She said something just like it. It's easy to see how I could have confused the two.
Duckman, even though almost everyone else sees you as just some psychotic street urchin, you're not fooling me. This horribly obnoxious act of yours is merely a defense. Deep down, you feel you're not deserving of anyone's love. Well, you're wrong. Welcome to our family, Duckman. You are loved.
She loved me. Grandmama loved me. But now she's gone. What the hell?
Sorry, hated to wake you from your reverie. You've been standing there for almost an hour. It turns out you need a license to run a funeral home, so I set up this video arcade instead. You'll have to leave now. You're scaring the children.
Let one go, sweet grandmama. You're gassing them in heaven right now. Let one go, sweet grandmama. You're gassing them in heaven and how.
Wait! I didn't say goodbye! I didn't tell her I loved her! And all this time, she loved me!
Goodbye, Grandmama.
We'll never forget you.
Nor you, Dodd.
I'm sorry, Grandmama! I'm sorry for leaving you in the car, and for using you to prop the garage door open, and for making you the backstop at the boys' baseball games, and for...
You're alive! This is wonderful! The whole family is back together!
What was the great beyond like, Grandmama?
Did you go down a long white tunnel?
Was Casper truly as friendly as they say?
Kids, my guess is Grandmama was never really dead. She was merely cryogenically frozen into a state of suspended animation. And, as contrived and convenient as it sounds, it took several days for her to come around after she thawed.
Who cares? Grandmama's back and we're never going to send her away again. I'm sure the only reason she'd been so difficult lately was because we were ignoring her.
And I, Duckman, ignored her worst of all, callously forgetting how she really felt. Forgive me, mother-in-law. Now, in honor of your return, I offer this celebratory dance. You let your down down and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis.
I hate that guy.
And thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust your pelvis, and thrust.